All right, good morning. It's June 29th, 8:25 in the morning. We got 5 minutes before the open. We had some GDP news earlier. I don't think the market really did too much based on that news. Something here. Let's see. Yeah, a little bit of movement back and forth, but nothing too crazy, it doesn't look like. So we've got our 15-minute. Let me go ahead and just adjust these levels. 38.41 quarter. Oops. All right, let's see what we got here for the low. About 38.11 quarter. We'll try that. Okay. Well, to those of you who shorted yesterday, well done. Great job. As I mentioned yesterday, trend days, they used to be days that would just kill me. Yesterday, lost a little bit, but really not much. Had a nice trade to kind of get some back at the end of the day. So here's our 5-minute, came up, then down, just so weak here, took out this level. And then from there, it was just a bloodbath the whole rest of the day. So my trades were, I was trying to get long here at 26, thinking we might see a little bit of a pullback and then try to get up higher up to about the 37 area. That would have been the first area of contention. That didn't happen. We came down here, and I remember saying that if we got much below this, that I would be out. And that's what I did. I exited out, was out, and truly, I mean, I could see by that point that it was looking pretty weak. I just, at that point, was probably looking a little bit too much on the daily at the other chart and not just looking at what I was seeing here. So again, came down here, ended up working this one out okay, where I was in and out, scaled in and out, took some profits, and then was watching this 96 level here. And I can remember where we got down lower and we were hanging out here and finally just exited that trade. So had to cut bait on that one, had my stop losses in place, which, boy, you know, a day like yesterday too, glad that I had stops in place. But again, to anyone who got short, well done. Good read of the market, good read of the tape. It's obvious, you know, it's obvious that that's what it was doing. It was wanting to go lower. I was a little bit caught up watching the daily. Let me drag this in the screen here. You know, just a little bit caught up thinking, okay, we had this big move up, and yes, we had a gap right here. We filled this gap, saw this kind of congestion day on Tuesday and thought, okay, well, perhaps, saw this congestion day on Monday and thought, well, perhaps yesterday, which was Tuesday, that it might kind of be another day where we just, you know, hang out somewhere within the range of this, this body over here. Or on the upper part of it, hang out a bit, and then in a day or so push lower or higher, which that obviously didn't happen. Market gave up a lot of ground yesterday. And then lastly, the last trade that I had that ended up being a winner, which was nice to get back almost all of my losses, was the short that, let's see, I took right here, saw it coming down. Remember Micah and I think Mr. Greg saying, hey, I got 38.62 as a target. And looking at the breakout that it did the other day, where it just ramped up from 62, that made sense to me, at least for like a first target. So as you're looking down in there, that was, I think, how they got that level. And there might have been some other stuff too that they saw in market profile. So shorted as we broke this level, saw it move down, scaled some out at 70, and then some more at 64, and ended it like 63 half. So that was a nice one that made up for all that mess up there. Anyways, we're back to today. Sorry if my stuff is buffering. I'm working on another feed. Gonna try to switch over to Twitch, see if that helps me out anymore. But we'll watch and see what the market gives us today. Hey, Micah. Gonna try to hide this guy. And remove for it. All right. All right, so we've got our 1 minute here, got our 15-minute over here, and we'll let the market settle in, show us what it wants to do, how it wants to do it, then just simply get involved. Wouldn't be surprised if we get some kind of a test lower, continuation move to the downside. And again, if you're joining, I do apologize for buffering and the slowness. I mentioned that I'm looking into Twitch. It seems like that might be a better option for me to screen share in real time. So we'll see if that's a viable option. Tech T, if you're here, I saw your post on Facebook just getting short. I think it was the 5 minute chart. Really good read there from earlier in the day, getting short around like 39.20 it looked like. And I know for me that one of the trickiest things is usually even at this level, even though we were weak, in my head I'm thinking, boy, we've come down, or I'm sorry, at like at the 90 level here, 38.90. Like we were weak and we had come down so much, but I'm thinking, man, we're 50 points lower. I just don't know how low we can go, but ended up, pushing another 75 points lower than that. So you just don't know. So I wouldn't be surprised if we fill this gap now. So some pretty big movements here. Looks like about 20 points here in just the last minute or so. And just continuing to push lower really at this point. Coming down, getting close to that overnight low. Got some serious resistance above. Well, looks like another day to get short, really. So it seems like, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we got somewhere within these areas, like the 3,800 down to like 3,760. One moment. All right, let's see where we end up here. Let's see what happens. So we came down to our overnight low. I'm going to sell some here. Going to give myself some wiggle room on this one. I'm going to buy back just a little bit right there. Not a whole bunch. I'm still in 5/6 of my original position. See if we can't kind of break down, take out this low, and then continue further down. All right, I'm still in 2/3 of my original position. Looking for a breakdown here. $15-minute looking pretty weak. Hanging out below the overnight low now. Just watching and trying to go with the trend on this one. I'm going to buy back a little bit more right here. All right, so I'm in half of my position. And we'll see if we can just give this one a little bit of room. And boy, it's true tech, isn't it? Yeah, I pity the guys who are long and who weren't obeying their rules or, using their stops. Goodness sake, man. That must have hurt. I was long, but I had my stops in place. Then I finally, got with it and thought, all right, let's get short. No need to fight it. Let's just see what's going on here. And it was tricky for me, because I'm trying to find a spot that I want to be engaged in, and I do it, and I'm in and out a little bit, and you can clearly see that the market is getting weak, no matter what chart you're looking at, right? Whether you're looking at a 5-minute, a 1-minute, a 3-minute market profile, any one of the charts, we're giving good indication that, hey, this thing wants to go quite a bit lower. And that's certainly what it did. So the third trade of the day for me just made sense. Hey, it's going short, it's weak. Just hop on the wave and ride it down. I'm scaling out just a little bit more right here. So I'm still in 1/3 of my original position, getting short up here at 38.16. And we'll see. 15 minutes looking nice here. Reason for scaling out a little bit was just don't have a great reason. How about that? Don't have a great reason. It may be in part that we've just come down so much, and yesterday and today, and thought, I don't want to be stuck here. So watch it around here again. It might be that if we come up here, I may try to add a little bit. May not. We'll see. But boy, it seems like we've got a good amount of resistance up here. You would think, right? You would think we would. So let's look at our 5-minute over here. We'll drag that one into view. Yeah, certainly was a hard one for longs if you were trying to catch it. But here's the 5-minute, and again, I was looking at the daily a little bit too much yesterday, and but all the while the 5 minutes just showing us context, like, hey man, I'm weak. I want to go lower. I need to probe lower until buyers pick me up. Just a continual fade lower. Yeah, Micah. Hey, you captured what? I think almost 40 points there. If memory serves me correct, you were short on like 38.98 or something like that. So it was right where I bailed on that one. Thought, okay, I don't like it to the long side. Looks like Mr. Micah got involved there, and it was a great opportunity. Got out at 62, which, hey man, that's a good level. Came up a bit and then just continued to the downside. Yeah, and you never know, do you? That's part of what Mark Douglas will talk about. Like, hey, anything can happen, and something will happen. Rest assured. Let's see how we end here on this 5-minute. It'd be nice to show a little bit of weakness. I would prefer that. to end on the downside. We got 5 seconds left on this guy. I'm going to buy back a little bit more. So I'm currently just in 1/6 of my original position. And I'm going to play this one pretty close to the cheek. I'm going to probably put my stop just right here. And that way if we do come up, I'll try to get involved some more. But still seems weak. So we'll see. Here we go, looking decent. All right. Just pushing lower. And like I said, I'm new to the whole YouTube, especially the live stream thing. It seems I'm so popular that I've got Naked HD XYZ on my channel here. So welcome, Naked XD. I'm obviously being sarcastic. Don't want that crap on here. So time of my day is kind of limited. I don't have time to go and patrol this right now. So I'll have to call YouTube soon and try to get that one squared away too. Aside from my buffering and delayed data and all that stuff. So here's our 5 minute. Looking at this, like we're coming lower, trying to get up, and I don't know. We'll have to see how far we move, or how far we go. That last sixth, I just moved my stop up a little bit higher. Now let's see if that was the last attempt by the bulls to push up and if we just continue lower. Let's see. So I'm in just a 6 of the original trade from 38.16. Got my stop just a little bit higher than that. I'm at like 17.5 right here. Let me move this out of the way. Oops. Watching this bar, kind of got like a megaphone thing going on here. We've put in a lower low, higher high. So there is some, I don't want to say indecision, but again, we've come down low enough to where we could see some big moves. Again, this is the 5 minute. I did have the 15 minute up. Let's see what we get here. Yeah, here's our 15 minute. kind of watching this level here. I want to see what develops. I want to see where the bears come back in and what they do, how they act. I'm going to sell just a little bit more right here. I'm in only 15% of what I'll allow myself to trade. So it's not a whole bunch. It's small. Big move there. Boy, I might have to pull the plug on this thing. Looking pretty strong here. Looking for a bit of a pullback. I'm going to add some right here just to try to get out of this thing at break even. Have it try to pull back in a little bit, scratch it, then potentially go long. Looking at our 15-minute here. Big 5-minute bar. Let's see where I want to see the pullback come back into. Looking for a little bit of a relief from that big move we just had up. Maybe down here to 24 or so. Selling a little bit more here. Woo! It's a big move, kind of dicey here. Adding a little bit more. All right, looking for a bit of a pullback, at least down to here. Big move up on the 5-minute bar. Got another 45 seconds till our 5-minute bar is done. I would expect that we pull in a little bit. I added quite a bit. I'm in 70% of what I'll allow myself to trade. Watching this here. Here, let me pull up the 5-minute. So here's our 5-minute. Tempting fade a little bit here, but just looking at this, thinking that, okay, we've come up all this way. Let's see if we can't pull back in a little bit. But market, it's strong. Now the question is, how far does it pull back in? Do we want to look for a long? My break even on it at this point is 31. So I just lighten my load a little bit right there. Gonna buy some here, buying some more back here. It's kind of like a quick adjustment there on that one as price just got super strong. All right, I'm still in 20% of my position. Looking to scale out of a little bit more right here, which I will do that. And I'm just in 10% of what I will allow myself to trade. That one was definitely more risky, had that big stop run right there. So we'll watch and see what it does here. Here's our congestion area. So again, looking at the context on the day, we've come down far enough. I wonder like how far we'll retrace. And the question to me now is, we've come up so far. Do we hold this, or do we come down a little bit lower? It's definitely volatile here. So all the guys, how I was earlier, all the guys were getting short. I would imagine that a lot of their stops were placed both here and at this level right here. Buying back just a little bit more right here. So at this point, I'm just in 5% of what I'll allow myself to trade. Gonna want to see it like hold below this level. It could be strengthening up right here, getting ready to move higher. And if it does at that point, I'm just gonna be done. So I've got my stop, let's see, just about to take me out here with the last little piece. So for me, that was just a damage control type trade there. Saw it coming up, saw it taking out stops. So thankful that I had that one where I was scaling out and added a little bit more here and here. Added here, saw it come way up here, and that's when I got quite heavy, looking for a little bit of a retracement that we just got. And now, just got to wait and see what happens here with this move. Again, I know it's kind of a gutsy move, but I tend to do more like outside in trading. I look for like strong moves and then the exhaustion of a move and a pullback. Watch our 5 minute here and see what happens. All right, so at this point, I've got my stop for that last little piece just here at 32. See if we can't pull down in a little bit more. I don't know if I'm getting greedy on this one or not, but we'll watch it and see. Money's been made on this trade already. Again, it is a very small amount that I'm trying to trail, so just try to stick with it. Actually moving my stop down a bit more. See if we get a good move lower here. But again, this is an area where we had a big push up. It could be that we consolidate here and then go higher, test this. Could be too that we come back lower. It's hard to know for sure. We just know that anything can happen and something will happen. If we know that, we're in good shape, right? Playing this one pretty close, looking for a breakout here. If I don't get it, I'm going to be out. So I've got my trailing stop, just working with it. All right, so if we don't break down here, I don't want it. And okay, I'm out. On that last little pop, I'm out of that one completely. Micah, long at 20. Did you get in on this move up where you had like a buy limit or a buy stop, I think, thinking that if they took that out, they might run it higher? Because you wouldn't have gotten filled here on this retracement. Just curious as to how you place that trade. So even as price was down here, was it one that you thought, okay, if we come up and get above this, we could run some stops, where it was just kind of, I think the name of it is like a buy stop. Is that how you navigated that one? And good job, by the way. Great trade. I was doing a little bit of damage control there. Long at 28. Yeah, 28's nice. 28's nice. After that retracement there, comes back into this area. That's a nice trade. Gotcha. So you saw it come up here long. So maybe you meant to say 28. Hey, either way, good trade there. Well, if you've missed it, if you're here with us, I was short here at 16, scaled some down here at 10, 8, 6, tried to keep a little runner on, and then got involved some more, tried selling some more up here. We're showing strength here. Got blown out of the water, but luckily I was only in 15% of what I'll allow myself to trade. When we came all the way up here, I was looking at the 5 and the 15, figuring that we should get a little bit of a retracement. So was able to get kind of heavy in order to salvage that one, and then they even made some on it, so it worked out nice. Came back down into here and got out of just about all of it here at 26. Tried to keep a little bit more on, and then got taken out at 28 there when it came back above. So that's where we're at so far on the day. Let's look at our 15 here. So I'm wondering, how far do the bulls push? Like, that's what I want to know. How far do the bulls push this thing? So our battle zone, I would think for now, is like opening range. Like here to here. Bulls want it above, bears want it below. To me, the context is, like, looking at the daily, we've come way down. I mean, anything can happen. I don't know, like, how strong the bears can drive this thing back up and, like, reclaim part of this body. Again, it could happen, but I'm just looking at context on that. And even near the overnight high there, around 40, as it was coming up, I was thinking like, man, I might want to try to snag a short and get involved here, but I'm not going to do that just yet. So again, here's our 15-minute. Here's where we spent some time down here the other day, yesterday afternoon, looks like. Come down, flushed out. Now we're back up in here, and the question to me is, do we try to get above overnight high, up into here? Or is that all she wrote, and then we meander in here and then try to come down and, retest a little bit back in here? Well, on that one, Ben, I'm still of the persuasion, at least even on this big move up, I'm looking at what we're doing here, and in order to salvage the trade, remember, like when I was getting involved here, I said, hey, I'm in 15% on this of what I'll allow myself to trade. When we like blew out some stops and got way up here, I was in a total of 70% of what I'll allow myself to trade with, and I got in heavy enough up here to where my break even, my entry point was at 31. So yes, it was volatile. Yes, it was a little bit risky. I would have probably, on this move, I would have added a little bit more. I was leaning against this here, that opening range, and the overnight high. And to me, I still feel like the jury's out as far as if the bulls can push it higher, or if the bears get it to hang out here, and then we, find some balance today and come back down. So on this one, even though it was moving hard against me for the size that I was trading, if I'm short here, but it's 15% of what I allow myself to trade, I'm not really risking that much. It made sense for me as we powered up to get involved much higher. And that's what I did. Salvaged it, made some on the trade, and didn't ask for a whole bunch more. I mean, I wasn't trying to get greedy with it. Scaled out a little bit, tried to let it run, and that's that. Everyone's got their own different style. As I mentioned yesterday, I'll be the first to admit that it's the trend days that, man, especially in the past, they would just eat my lunch. They would tear me up. I just am more comfortable trying to pick tops and bottoms. So even yesterday, I had two trades where looking for a bottom, tried to get involved long, got stopped out. Took another trade, tried to get involved long, got stopped out. Managed the second trade, though, was in and out a bit, kind of scaling in and out, liking some levels. And the third trade got involved the short side because the market was just so weak, and that one worked out nicely. So that was my style. Whereas Micah, he was short and held it, had like a target that was about 36, 37 points away, held it, let it run, got paid, worked out well for him. All right, so here's our 15. Here's our 5. Let me just make this a little bit smaller here. I know, I think it's Paul Tudor Jones, who says, losers average losers. It's a great statement. Oh, yes. Man, I apologize, Ben, if I was a little bit defensive on that trade. I think more than anything, it's just might be a little bit amped up from the excitement of that move. Been working on trying to just be a bit more zen, just watch and observe what the market's doing, and make some moves from there. So forgive me if I came off as sounding a little defensive. I'll try to read your statement here in a minute. Right, so the question to me is, do the bulls take it higher, or do we come back, find ourselves down in here somewhere? We're just right inside of this range. Let's look at the overnight and the 5-minute. So here's our 15-minute, like Lionel Richie, all night long. Oh, that was off tune. But yeah, all night long, we're just hanging out in here. So let's see, here's our 5-minute. Looking kind of bullish here. Let's see if the bulls can take it up and then come a little bit lower still. But yeah, this is where we were all night. If the bulls take it up, I'm wondering how far they want to take it. Gonna maximize this sell. Let's see if we can get a little bit of context for where the bulls might want to drive it up to. So here's our 5-minute. Trying to do its thing. Still got another, looks like 2 minutes to go on the 5-minute bar. So, again, I'll drag that up into here. Let me adjust the size of this guy. There we go. So, got another few minutes on this. Kind of want to see if we can push up here or if we just stay lower like we are. It makes me wonder if we do try to retrace a bit. I'm going to sell a little bit right here. So we've got a minute and a half left on this 5-minute bar. Ideally, we see it get kind of weak and then push down. I'd love to see it come back to this 38.26 level. Then 22, somewhere back in here. Might be a little premature. Got a minute left now on the 5-minute bar, so let's see what we do in this last minute. So here we are. Still kind of in this range. Again, this level was where we spent yesterday afternoon, and it's also where we spent pretty much the whole overnight session, just hanging out in here. So bulls and bears seem to be duking it out right now. And ideally for me, since I'm short from above, I'd like to see this thing get a bit weaker. Love to see it get below this level down here. I'm scaling out of 1/3 right there at 28. And we'll see now with the new 5-minute bar forming if we can get any kind of follow through. Gotta be vigilant though. Vigilant meaning like, again with context, we've come down a whole bunch. I'm going to scale out a little bit more right here at 28.25. I'm in half of this guy. Still in half. Want to see a breakdown lower now. Watching the 15 here. 5 minutes looking decent. Ideally for me, we get down to this 22. Getting close. So I'm still in half of this position, waiting to see if we can get a bit lower. All right, I just scaled out a little bit more. I'm still in 1/3 of this thing, and we'll see how low we go now. We're getting down to where we ran stops down here, so let's see what we do now. Find a little bit more right there at 16, and I'm still in 1/6. Looking good, feeling good on that one. I'm just in 1/6. I'm trying to decide if I just want to totally cut bait here or see if we can go a little bit lower still. That was a nice one that just happened to work out nice and quick for me. So I'm really pleased with positioning on that one. Here's our 15. Bears want to keep it below this level here. 5 minutes weak enough. Feeling like on this one, I got another 2 minutes till we put a new 5-minute bar, so let's see. So again, here's our, let's look at our 5-minute. Yeah, I think on this one, I'm out of most of this guy, but I'm still holding 1/6 of what I'll allow myself to trade. Or I'm sorry, 1/6 of that original position. So on this, my entry was, where was it? Actually, it was a nice entry. It was right here, like 32. And I'm just going to keep the rest of that stop to break even and see. This 5-minute bar is strong enough here. See if we can't push down a little bit lower. And I don't know about holding it for the rest of the day, but maybe if we get down to 0.5 or somewhere down here, put in a new low, I might consider doing getting out of it there. But that's where I'm at. Let's look. Again, I always want to be vigilant, want to be mindful of what the market can or can't do. We've had this big move up. I know oftentimes I'll mention like the 786 pullback level. So that would put us pretty close to here. So on this one, I might just try to scale out, look for a little bit lower price, and then call it good on that. Think that would be prudent. Boy, I tell you, I know I mentioned, I'll kind of share some thoughts on psychology and best practices here in a minute, but I know I've shared in the past that there's a great performance coach who's written a book called With Winning in Mind, and he talks about, he's like, you know what, oftentimes your best performances are the ones that are just the easiest. And he's talking about competitive athletes, but I think it's true for a lot of different things. Wherever there has the potential to be like stress or pressure or doubt or uncertainty. Yesterday I was fighting the market. It wasn't really too emotionally involved, but just like searching for an area to get involved, and couldn't find it. Tried again, couldn't find that one. Finally on the third trade, it made sense. It was easy to just go short. And it worked out well. And same with today. Just looking at the market, These trades have just made sense. Haven't had to be too speculative about what the market might be or could be doing. Just got involved and knew my levels and let the trade play out. All right, well, we didn't come down as low as I was hoping. I was looking for a little bit more, looking for a push down to this level. So if we get up too much higher, I might cut bait. And again, I'm just in 1/6 of this thing with original entry of 38.32. So it's come down nicely. We've taken some profits on it, and we'll see what happens now. I was watching the 5-minute here. Let's see, I'll show you that. Just got a bit more of a retrace than I was hoping. I was hoping that this would be red, and then whatever the next candle did, that we try to take that out by a little bit. Might have been a little bit greedy trying to take some off the table closer down to like 12. So we'll see on this one if we push lower. If we don't, I'm going to keep my runner up here, and we'll let it do its thing. So the little piece that I'm scaling, I'm just going to leave it right here. Shooting to take that last 6 of the piece of the pie off down here. But if not, I'll be uninvolved here, and we'll book that one. I got another 2 minutes on the 5-minute. All right, let's see now. If got a minute and a half on the 5-minute. Let's see if this is it. I don't know. Let's see if the Bulls want it here or the Bears. Who wants it? Let's see who wants it. How are we going to end this 5-minute candle? Still got another 40 seconds. I'm trying to firm up here. All right, another 20 seconds until that 5-minute bar is done. If the, oh, we'll let it play out. All right, that last little piece, I'm done with it. That's it for me. For that one I was trying to keep on as a little bit of a runner. I was trying to take some off here at 12 or the last of it, but I didn't. Just let it run to there, and that's it. Okay, let's see if the Bulls can push higher now. Looking pretty strong here now. All right, Bulls trying to really reclaim this territory. Significant area. There's a wick on the 15, right? Come down, retest. Let's see if we claim it. Now if we push higher. Micah, let's see if this is the opportunity that you were thinking we'd get. Anyone else taken any trades, any areas that have piqued your interest? Well, looking at today, for me, looks like Naked HD's taking some trades. Oh man, this bot, it's the bane of my existence. Put user in timeout. Jeez Louise. Hide user on this channel. Maybe it's only me that's seen that junk, but again, I apologize if it's coming up. Working out the kinks. Kinky. So the whipping back and forth, if it doesn't make sense to you, perhaps it'll make a little bit more sense if you consider that we've officially filled this gap here. We're looking at a longer time frame chart. This is a daily, so it would make sense for the guys, the institutions, the big money that actually moves the market. They're buying here. They obviously sold here, sold it yesterday, that they're doing some stuff around this level as well. And that can mean some big moves in the market back and forth, or at least some quick moves. We've had some quick moves today. We've had to be quick on our feet. Market looks strong, or market looks weak, all of a sudden it gets strong. Market looks strong, all of a sudden it gets weak. So it's a day like today where I feel like it's done me well. It served me well to look at the context of the daily chart, daily candle. However, yesterday, I feel like it didn't serve me well to be looking at the daily. 5 minute was clearly showing that it was weak, that it was bearish. And I was thinking, well, potentially we, hang out. We don't go that low, but 5 minute was showing otherwise. So nothing's ever 100% with trading, right? There's a lot of nuance to it. A lot of nuance, and any day can be different. Every day can be different. A lot of movement yesterday, just all the downside, a lot of back and forth today. The tempo is different. The cadence, the feel of the market's different. That's just how it is. Hey, cool, Bendy. That's awesome, man. Small caps. I'm just break even. It's par for the course. Started in Feb. That's cool. I mentioned before that I do participate in some longer term trades. I'll sell puts, naked puts, usually just in like really strong, stable companies, Coca-Cola, Apple, McDonald's. You figure if McDonald's goes under, the whole world is probably Armageddon, right? But even then, if I'm selling puts in McDonald's, it's at levels where I would like to be a buyer and a participator. You just got to make sure that you've got enough capital behind you in case we get a huge market meltdown like we did 2 years ago during COVID, 2 years and 3 months ago. So that's the trick with that. So yeah, I've done options trading. I've done longer term like stock trading where I'll just be looking at a chart on a stock, buy it, hold it, let it do its thing, and usually that I'm in for anywhere from several weeks to several months, sometimes even more. But for me, over the years, the thing that I've really wanted to conquer is the shorter term time frame, day trading, and with that, we're watching the S&P 500 futures. But that's cool, Ben, that you just started in Feb with the smaller account. Nice, man. So at this point, I'm wondering how strong the bulls are. Wondering if we've got a bit of a wedge potentially that we're putting in, and if the bulls do want to try to run it. Again, this looks like it has potential. strong out here. We were here in this range pretty much all night long. We did come down, but then we quickly got up into this area. We've been down, we've been up, we've been down. Now we're coming back up again. And I'm looking at the 5-minute too. And looking to see what happens. Well, even on that, Ben, you just, same thing, whether you're looking at, a 5-minute chart or a weekly chart, you just got to know where you're right and where you're wrong. And truthfully, for me, fact of the matter is that when I've got those longer term trades and I'm looking at a level and I get involved and maybe I like it for a certain reason or I don't, or I add to a position, I've got a good idea. I've got a good thought process as to where does the chart have to go? Where does price have to go for me to know that I'm wrong? And for me, it's a lot simpler to be objective on a longer term time frame. And maybe for me it's because of the fact that, hey, every night I go to bed, the market takes a break, it opens up the next day, I can open my eyes, look at it, what's it look like today, what's the data there today telling me or showing me. So for me, I found it much easier to be objective or more objective with longer term trading versus shorter term trading. But same thing. I think you just got to know where you're right, where you're wrong, where you want to be involved. Looking kind of strong here. Was wondering down here about getting involved against this 24 to 28 level. But I'm not in a hurry. I've booked some profits for the day, and I'm not in a hurry to try to get involved, or not in a hurry to get involved because I've got FOMO. Not going to happen. I don't know if that one makes much sense there. Again, here's our 15-minute gray shaded area. This is the whole overnight session. Spent a lot of time in here. Now the bulls and bears are just duking it out. Here's our 5-minute chart here. Looks like we could potentially have some kind of a wedge with our neckline being this fat area right here, just the opening range, and then testing this line. So potentially if we come down again and then quickly get back up into opening range, I might consider taking a long and doing it small, not like throwing a ton of size at it, based on what we're doing here. Might not. That's weird how it, puts it here versus here. Oh boy. Well, it's been somewhat of an active morning. Had 3 trades so far, 3 winners. I think it was Friday. This Friday, just sat for 2 hours and didn't take a single trade. Thursday had a bunch of trades. Yesterday had 3. Monday had 3. So some days just have different opportunities than others. Tech T, have you taken anything yet? If you're there. Tech T 111. This is your captain speaking. Just kidding. So same thing. I'm looking at this wedge, but for me, I don't have a whole bunch of strong conviction about it. A lot of wicks up here where we trying to get strong and push through, but just can't do it. So again, things can change quickly. You can blink your eyes and we could be 20 points higher or lower. Literally, we really can. Like Mark Douglas says, anything can happen and something will happen. So for me, it might be that we bounce right off here at 38.20, but I really don't have a desire to get involved right here at this level. Now perhaps if we do seem like we're showing strength, we try to push up. It might be that I try something cute, try to get involved, look for it to run up. So here I'm risking 10% of what I'll allow myself to get into. Seeing if we can reclaim up into here and hang out. But I'm not married to this trade and I'm in it small enough to where if it goes against me, not a big deal. Tech T says just a couple of trades. Alright, so now for this one to work for me, and again, I'm not risking much at all. I'd like to see it try to come up, try to reclaim this area, and then work and push higher. If we get back up into here, again, for me, it's small enough. I'm not going to try to scale. I might scale out a little bit up here and then try to hold the rest of it right here against my entry. So at this point, hard stop is definitely going to be below this level. Here's my 5 minute looking at that push down and wick. But again, considering context and the fact that we've just stayed in here so long, I'm not married to this trade. It doesn't have to work. If it doesn't work, I'm fine with that. If it works, hey, great. I've risked a small amount and maybe, we can push up to here and then go even further. And I've made some, but if not, I'm really, it's nice to be in a position where you don't care too much. It's not good to care too much about something. All right, so I'm going to scale half of it right here, 31.5. I'm still holding. I will hold now against this 38.20 level. If it gets down to there, I don't want it. And maybe we get a little bit of blast off and go higher. But that's it. really pleased with the management of that one so far. That may, well, I don't want to say it'll be my last trade of the day, but just getting chopped up. Yeah, Micah, I tell you, Micah, you're a guy who I'd like to have some, regular communication with, because I feel like you're really good at, like yesterday. I don't know what time frame you're looking at. I know you're looking at TPO market profile. You see that it's getting weaker. I see it's getting weaker. I'm long. I'm trying to catch a bottom, so I get out. I cut bait. I let my stop, just take me out, and that's where you're jumping in. And so I don't know you well. I don't virtually know you well, but I've seen some trades that you've taken, and it seems like your strong suit is finding a trend, getting involved, letting it ride. And for me personally, that's a weaker area of me. That's not a strong suit for me. That's not a strength. So I think, oh man, if I could be talking with Micah, and when he's seeing a trend, that would be helpful. Or when I'm seeing something like this, where hey, there's a potential wedge. We're looking at daily price action here, right? Like considering the context of where it's going. Let me get rid of this line now. I think there's strength in numbers with that. When you've got guys who have, proven themselves that like, hey, this is my strong point. This is what I'm best suited to do, this type of trade. So again, let's get back to this one. We've got only another minute and a half until our 15-minute closes. So here we are back up at this level. I mean, on this candle, we were showing a good amount of strength too, but perhaps this is the move that takes us higher and gets us above this 38.40. As far as how far it goes after that, maybe we get up to 50, maybe we get up to 60. I really don't know. I'm not sure. But we'll just have to see what kind of strength the market's showing. So again, that little piece that I got involved here at was 21. I got involved down here, or 21.5. Scaled out half of it here at 38.32. It's like a nice 10-point move. And I'm just going to hold the rest of that guy right here against this level. It was a very small amount that I risked anyways. And we'll see, we'll see if we get some good movement continued higher. If we don't, if we come back down, then I don't want it and I'm not involved. Just got the mantra running in my head, right? Like Mark Douglas says, that anything can happen and something will happen. That's it. But an idea that I had, where I mentioned before, is I thought it'd be cool, where thought it'd be neat to have something like I don't know, about a room in Discord, or guys could post their trades. I'll have to figure out a good way to facilitate that. But where we could have traders, and if they want, they could post their trades. And maybe you don't even post every trade. Maybe you only post trades that I feel really good about this. Like, I know this setup. I know what I like. I'm involved at this level. Guys who do that, and then grade them and say, like, okay, this guy's got a 65% win rate, or a 70% win rate. And this guy, he usually, he's in for 6-7 points, or this other guy, he really likes to let it run. And based on that, based on the info that's coming into the feed, whatever it is, we could, if you wanted, if you're listening, you could take trades based off of what that person is saying. So like Tech T 111, he's one that I feel, yesterday I knew he was patient. I knew he was just letting stuff set up. He wasn't posting in here as far as what he's doing. He recognizes it's my room and doesn't want to, I guess, say stuff that goes contrary to what I'm saying. But the trades that he has, very calculated, very well thought out, very well planned. I respect his abilities as a trader. And so I'm sure if he were posting yesterday about where he was involved, it would have been beneficial to people listening. myself included. So even that one that you posted, Micah, yesterday, where you were getting short, man, to me, I could see it, and I finally came to grips with the fact that the market was weak and just got involved, which felt nice to do. Well, I'm going to take a quick intermission here, and I'll be back shortly. I'll just step away for a few minutes, gonna grab a waffle to eat, and I'll talk your ears off some more. So again, just to be mindful, I've got that little trade on where I took some off at 32, holding the stop against here at 21.5, and thinking if we pull back, if we in fact are strong, I would want to see a pullback only to about this area. Wouldn't want to see it come much lower, but with that little guy, I'll give it some room and see if we don't push higher. And then I'm still trying to figure out a target for that one to the long side, to the upside. So let me do that before I step away. I wonder if Greg's in the house. You hear Greg? GT Greg? Not GT Dave, GT Greg. So if this market truly is strong, if it's truly going to push up and give us a little bit more, I feel like it's okay if it quick takes a peek below this opening range, but wouldn't want to see it do it for long, you know. Wouldn't want to see it take a long peek below and then not reclaim it quickly. I don't have a crystal ball. I could be dead wrong. I mean, the market could come way down to here, right? Whip back right up, come into here, reclaim it, and then push higher. So you never want to assume that. Hey, what's up, Greg? Greg, you got a nice one the other day too. Short from way up high, letting it ride all the way down. Well done, man. All right, I'm gonna step away for a second, and I'll be back.
right, back in the saddle. Let's look at the 5-minute here, 1-minute chart here. Let's see if the bulls want to take it up. If they do, how high? Got about another 7 minutes until our 15-minute chart is done, or our 15-minute bar is done. Seems like we could get some kind of move, but well, forgive me too if there's too much buffering or cutting out on your end. I've got a buddy coming Friday in from out of town. He's going to look at my stuff. He's like a Discord genius. I'm going to look at using Twitch instead of OBS to do screen sharing for YouTube. Or I might even try to do YouTube itself. Working on an intro video and some other stuff as well. So, like the Facebook posts, exciting news or big news ahead, says the aspiring garage band musician. Big things ahead, man. Like big things. You don't want to miss it. All right, let's see what they do here. So just looking at the 15-minute or the 5-minute or the opening range, we know that this has been a significant area, this 28-ish level, right? We've put in, there's been a lot of open and closes right here, both today and yesterday. A lot of opening and closings. So the question then is, do we hold that and push higher? Do we come back in, test this? I feel like we'll have a good idea within the next 5 minutes or so here. Another 5-10 minutes, I think we might have the answer. Short-term answer, at least. If you guys are in a market profile or wanting to learn more about it, there's a guy on here whose room I subscribe to. Great stuff with market profile. It's called Pirate Traders. So go over and check him out. He's fantastic. The cool thing with him is the first hour of the day it's free. So from market open, that first hour, it's free. And then it's expensive now. If you can afford it, it's $10 a month. Obviously, I'm joking. It's super cheap to watch his live stream the rest of the day, analyzing market profile, showing you what he's thinking regarding strength of the move, tick, and all that stuff. A little bit more technical. That's $10 a month. So, in my mind, heck of a deal. And I think he's done a course too. There's a ton of content. I haven't taken his course. But there's a ton of content on there. I think it's like $70 or like $65. It's something just ridiculously cheap. So I don't know the guy. I just know him virtually from watching him, and he's got a great product that he offers, teaching market profile. He won't say, every now and then he may mention a trade. It might be after the fact. I haven't watched him much lately, but he's not calling out trades. He's just simply sitting back and explaining to you the structure of market profile and how it works. But just very informational. Good stuff. my bad. Yep, I just looked down and realized I've been talking to myself. I'll recap what I was talking about in just a second. I'll abbreviate it. Okay. So, I think you should be able to now, Greg. My bad. Yeah. Noob to the whole live stream deal. So what I was mentioning, I had my trades. I'm more than likely done for the day. If I do anything, it's going to be probably risking a small amount. But want to just lastly talk about some psychology. And I mentioned that I've been reading a book called With Winning in Mind, and it's written by a guy who does performance training and coaching. He himself is a gold medal competitor from the Olympic Games like 30 years ago, and he helps other elite and world-class athletes with like mental strength, mental fortitude regarding their performance. And so one big thing he talks about that I've learned so much from is defining what winning is, like defining a winning performance. So first, he'll say it's really important, it's paramount to focus on performance instead of outcome. So if we look at how we perform, the outcome will follow. If we're following our process well, to look at the process. And then he'll say that he simply he'll state that he can and will have a winning performance every single day. And thanks Greg, a lot of people will say, dude, there's no way you can guarantee being profitable in trading every single day. And I say, well, I don't define winning as being profitable. I define it as following my process well. So if I say I can and will have a winning performance every day, I've got to define what does a winning performance look like. And for me, a winning performance consists of three pillars, three things. It's watching and observing without emotion, just learning from the market. Just like the market's a river and I'm in an inner tube and I'm just letting it take me where I want to go. I'm just observing. I'm a student. I'm learning what it's trying to do. The second pillar is not having fear. Like not having fear that I'll miss out on something. Knowing that with every tick, every move of the market, it just does what it was made to do. There's no emotion attached there. So just not having fear that I've got to be lightning fast or that I'm going to miss a move. We can't catch every single move. There's going to be opportunities that we miss. But then there's going to be other opportunities that we see and we take advantage of. And then the third pillar, of course, being then just simply executing with a target and a stop in place. Knowing where you're right, knowing where you're wrong, knowing structurally where this thing has to go for me to be wrong. So that is how we define a winning performance. Kind of curious about this level now, seeing if we hold below 28. Not getting involved, not yet at least. I feel like if you wanted to, you could get involved here. You could, to the short side, you could certainly give it up to 34. If you wanted a tighter stop, maybe up to about 31, 32. Just looking at this, bulls had their chance, right? We brought it down, up again, down, and it makes me wonder what we do. But this isn't a trade that I'm taking. I don't have a whole bunch of conviction about it. You're right, Greg. It is choppy. Another great word of advice and insight from Mark Douglas is, man, I could quote this guy all day long. I would love to I'd love to have a personal conversation with him. I believe he's since he's since passed on. He's not with us any longer. But Mark Douglas would just say, "There's going to be times when sitting on your hands is like putting money in the bank." Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. That's a great book if you haven't read it. The one that I was referring to, Greg, as far as like defining, saying that I can and will have a winning performance every day and defining what winning is, that one's called With Winning in Mind. Bassham is the guy's last name. It's like Bassham or something like that. It's like Basham or Bassham, gold medalist in the Olympics from like shooting with rifles and stuff like that. Great book regarding mindset. But again, yeah, Greg, if you're at a place where it's like, man, I can't make heads or tails of this thing. I don't know if we're going up or down. Hey, man, you had a good thesis for what the market was doing yesterday. Seems like you put some money behind it and you profited. So if there's something that just doesn't make sense to you today, dude, it's cool to sit on your hands. It's cool to just sit and wait. So we've got our 1 minute here, 5 minute, 15 minute with some overnight price action. Again, we were in this range between opening range all night. Stayed there all night, hung out a little bit below it, popped back up, a little bit more below it, popped back up. Now we're just back and forth trying to figure out if the bulls are in control or the bears. Mention up here around this 24 level that if you wanted to get short, I feel like you could keep a real tight stop at 28, or certainly you'd be wrong above 34 here. But again, it's a super choppy day. We could go lower, but before we go lower, we could just whip right back up here, run out some stops, and then go lower. Or we could go higher, but before we go higher, we could just whip right back down here, take out that overnight low area, and then march higher. Or we could just stay right here and do nothing. No problem, Greg. So I'm guessing you're talking about trading the zone. If you're talking about trading the zone, Micah, or maybe you've read both of them. Great books. So the firm that I work for here in Springfield, Missouri, as a financial advisor, man, these guys are smart. They don't do short-term trading. Well, one of the guys does like shorter-term stock stuff, but where it's quite a bit more volatile, like a lot of tech companies and all that. Oh, Micah, great, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm not even through it. I've just been like reading a bit and then munching on it, considering it, like taking notes, and I'll go back over, put some more stuff, like really try to beat it into my brain. But anyways, back to the guys that I work for here, doing financial advising. So I mentioned I work at a nonprofit in town, and I do, but I also do financial advising for this smaller like boutique firm here. And the guys who run it, like they're some smart dudes. They really know what they're doing, but they agree, and so many other people agree that I talk to, that Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas is just, it's kind of like the gold standard regarding emotional and mental capacity and fortitude as it relates to trading. Let's see if I can guess where point of control is. I'm gonna guess right about here, 25. Michael, where's the point of control currently? What do you got? What's the read? Yeah, I'm gonna say 38.25. So it's interesting, isn't it? How looking at the market, let's look at the 15-minute and the 5-minute. If you're just joining us, my trading is pretty much done for the day. Just watching and observing, well, like I always do, but not in a hurry to put a trade on. So to me, it's interesting how this is our 15-minute chart. This is a 5-minute chart. This whole chart is regular trading hours. So this is the finish of yesterday, like the afternoon. This is what we did down in here. Then we opened here today, sold off hard. This is the 15-minute chart, 38.20. Okay, so it's a bit off on that one. Must have been the more volume put in down there. This is our 15-minute chart. Gray shaded area is the not that close. Not based on, if we had a 150 point range today and I was within 5 points, I'd say, yeah, all right, I'd pat myself on the back. Yeah, that's pretty close. But a range like today, 40 points, I'm off there. I don't know the percentage. Let's see, 5 out of 40. I'm off almost 10%. Not too bad. Maybe B plus. Right, wasn't in the 90th percentile. But we're getting back to our price action. So it's interesting how market comes down, and at this level on the 15-minute, especially this bar right here, was looking pretty strong. Looking like it wanted to ditch all this price action here, maybe push higher. And how much higher, who knows? I personally didn't think that we could get much above like 48 or 50 based on context of the move from the daily chart where we've come from. So it was looking strong here, and now it's just done an about face, and now it's below all this congestion area right here where it spent the whole night here, all night long, like Lionel Richie would say, right? All night long, it was just doing its thing right there. Now we're below that. I think the bears, if they're in control, they'd want to see it below this range and this congestion area. And truthfully, I think they are in control. Looking at the 5-minute here, we've come down, pushed up, and it seems like we're going to go fishing for some lower prices down here. And who knows, maybe we get a continuation of trend from yesterday. Then here's our 1-minute here. So here's our 1-minute chart. Here's our 15-minute. It's interesting, isn't it? Like even here, looking up, sometimes you get a curl up and it looks strong, but then this bar was put in, and it's showing weakness, and it was right here that I was thinking, okay, like, wonder if we fail, wonder if we push lower, and looks like, in fact, that we very well may. Well, it's 10:20. I'm going to be wrapping this thing up here pretty soon. Anyone have a trade of the day, something they were really pleased with? And if not, if you don't want to share, that's no problem. All right, 5-minute, 15-minute, going after this here. So very, very wetty, whippy. Big moves down. Capitulation, big move up. Bullets try to run it up, try to get it higher. Keep trying, keep higher lows in. And we're kind of at this neckline, and then just fails. Can't get up, can't make it happen. Now we're pretty weak. Just drifting lower. Yeah, that's cool, Greg. Greg, that's great discipline, man. I truly aspire to have discipline like that. Right? Short from 34. Great short. Gotcha. Yeah. So that would have been A and B. You're looking at C. Yeah, that's a nice one right there. When C takes that little peak above and then fails. C. Got a D. I like it. I like it. Good one. Good one, Micah. Talking to Micah. Pardon me, I'm going to attend to some business real quick. I can get to that in just a second. All right. Well, let's see. Any closing thoughts for the day? What do we got here? Oh, I've shared this one. I think it was later last week. Let's see what. There was that 0.78 retracement and the overnight, so that could be something. Again, I don't do a lot of fib trading, but I do watch the 0.78. So where I got short here and got involved, I was looking for the last little target to get down somewhere between overnight and 7.8. Was looking for a pop off of that, maybe to come back up and well, I was short, so just looking to take the last little piece off there. Been back and forth. Now it looks like we literally just came down to it, kissed that level, got a pop off of it, and we'll see if that one holds now. See if this holds what it wants to do. If we show any kind of strength here, we'd have to come back up and, in my opinion, reclaim that that opening range. Oh, I'll remove that guy. Yeah, to show any kind of strength, we'd have to, in my opinion, come back up, reclaim this area. But I don't know about that. We'll see. So yeah, closing thought. My daughter, that was probably a week and a half or 2 weeks ago already. Man, time goes so quick with kids. But she comes to me the other day. She didn't come to me. She was in the kitchen. I came home. We're eating dinner. And she's referring to stuff with gymnastics today. She said, "Dad, it happened today. It happened. It happened today, Dad." And I was like, what happened, sweetie? She's 7, to her gymnastics class, just a bundle of energy. And she said, today I was able to go from the low bar to the high bar by myself and grab onto it and, swing back and forth, where she's little, she's 7, so doesn't have a great amount of length with the arms. But she was so excited that it happened. It was something that she's been working on for quite a while. And she does gymnastics a good amount of time during the week. She enjoys it, is committed to it. But for her, it happened that day. And I'm looking at this level wondering, sorry to interrupt, but I'm just wondering for anyone out there, I wonder what your it is for today. Like, what is your it? Where like, man, and what would you have to do to be able to say, it happened? Maybe for you that's, hey, like I didn't win today, but guess what? I kept all of my stops in place. I knew where I was wrong.
man, it happened for you. That's super cool. Or if it's something else, where, man, I didn't trade, but I watched the market in like a calm state of mind. Like I had a calm disposition. I wasn't anxious. I didn't have fear of missing out. It happened for me. So maybe there's some little it's that can happen. And then there could also be some big ones where you've got longer, loftier goals, and just defining what your it is. What is it that's it? What could that be, and what are you striving for? Because you stick with it, you follow the process well, you focus on the process and not necessarily the outcome. I guarantee that it will happen for you, whatever your it is, however you want to define that. So, final thought for the day. I'm going to wrap it up. It's 10:30. I hope everyone's had a great trading day today. I hope you're doing